Nothing in life should stay still forever. Change is natural, and seeking out new challenges defines the human spirit. So whenever it happens, if you get itchy feet, that's the time to trade up. Aleksandra is a club runner who's trading up to become a triathlete with the help of Joanne and Richard Isles of the New Forest Triathlon Centre. Swimming is her weakest discipline, so she's been getting a lot of specialist support. She's had a coaching session with Dan Bullock at Swim for Tri, met Olympic athlete Emma Davis, and took part in an open water drill with Richard Stannard, who's one of the UK's fastest triathlon swimmers. To give Aleksandra the best possible chance of success, she's being provided with all the equipment she needs. And in the last episode, she took delivery of her wetsuit and got advice from Sean Hayho of Selfish. The open water session was a tough test for Aleksandra and left her completely drained.
Look, my hands are so cold. They're separating, but I can't get them. I can't get them close together.
Since then, she's been putting in a lot of time in the pool, using the advice and drills at Dan's centre, following the session at Swim for Tri. She's also been out on her mountain bike as much as possible, taking advantage of the longer days, as well as using the bike in the gym for more structured workouts. Developing a strength routine in the gym will be important for Aleksandra's swimming and cycling, so she's meeting Richard to get some guidance.
Rather than me demonstrating, you just jump yourself straight on. These machines take a little bit of setting up, but once you've done one, you can do any of them. So you need to have those handles, so if it was a bar, it would be right across the middle of your chest, so I think we're just that right. And the key thing to remember with it is not to let your elbows, you're showing me exactly what I'm going to tell you not to do now. You need to make sure that your elbows aren't too low. You need to get them right up so that you're pushing, well, slightly lower than that, but they're nice straight line, so everything is in a nice straight line. So your elbows are behind your wrists and everything's straight from there. That's fantastic. If your elbows do drop, you'll know, because it will suddenly feel very, very heavy, and all the strain will go onto your arms, and we want you to feel the across the chest. So from there, nice and slowly, sitting nice and comfortably, your back really well supported so that your bottom's tucked right in there. Just want you to push that away from yourself. Sit straight, keep going, and now slowly back to here. A bit further, now push away again. And the machine also notes your range of movement there, and each time you repeat that range of movement, it's going to tell you that you've done it correctly. So no cheating. See, beep, and then it'll beep on the way back down.
That's really
fantastic.
Hard, actually.
Yeah. If it is too heavy, and sometimes learning how to set them up with that initial push is a bit of an acquired skill. When you first start, you do tend to push a bit too hard. You can adjust the weight up and down at any time. So
How many kilograms am I pushing here?
It says it's 23, so have a rest for a second, and we'll just lower it down a bit.
I usually push 10.
There we are then, see. Right, push again. There we are.
Oh, that's better.
See, this is it. See, it's far too easy now. On all these exercises we're looking at, if you start off this time of the year with 3 sets, so 3 lots of 12 repetitions each time. And in terms of the weight, if you need to adjust that up and down from that setup test, it's fine. But you need to be finding the last couple on each set actually quite hard. Okay. Like with the chest press before, make sure your bottom's tucked right into the crook of that seat there, and your back is well supported. Okay. Your feet a comfortable distance apart. Once once you've been, you start to look into do these exercises fairly specifically. For example, when I'm training for the bike section of the race, I will try and put my feet into a similar position to how they're going to be when I'm cycling. But for basic exercising in this time of the year, if you get your feet into about shoulder width apart, so that you're in a nice stable position, if you were standing, how you would normally be. But from a technique point of view, you're fine there. Okay.
Actually, this is, yeah, this is
Great machine.
fantastic. Yeah.
You feel it working. You should be able to feel it working.
Yeah.
The quads up here, but also right the way down into
Yeah.
your bottom as well. Which the lying down one doesn't really do it. It works in a slightly different way. Great on the quads again, but you don't tend to get that right the way up through the glutes. So this one, great starting position. Because this time we're going to be pulling exercise as well as going to be working your back, works your biceps, so the front part of your arm. So hopefully back getting the rest of them. Okay, first rep. Start pulling down. Remember, leading with your elbows down to that. That's far enough. And slow. Lead. Right. Let's stop it there for a second. Yeah. But still important to keep everything in a straight line so that minimise the risk.
Just back and forth. I can never get on this because the sweaty guys who,
It's important that
Oh, you're not filming this.
you're doing really lifting. And up. Elbows right out to the side by the time we finish, okay?
where
Those
do
are
I-
right up above your head.
Oh, like
That's
this.
your finish position, okay?
Right.
And as you come back down, they're going to come down to here.
Okay, so,
And you see what I was saying before about rotating and pushing at the same time?
Oh, I see.
And when you get comfortable with that, you'll be very smooth. Okay. Not bad. You need to be lifting and rotating at the same time. You're rotating, then you're lifting.
okay.
Shall I show you a couple?
Yeah, go on.
Just so it's very. Once you can do it, you can do it. It's one of those things. Okay. So from here, I'm sitting again, tucked right in.
Okay.
You're lifting and rotating at the same time. They're coming back
Okay,
down.
so the lifting is the main action.
Yeah, the lifting is the main action, but you finish that. You need to get to that finished position.
Okay.
Okay.
And which muscles does that work?
You're working on your shoulder muscles, but what you're doing
What sort of here? This.
yeah, all of your shoulders. It's a good. Anything that involves lifting weights above your head is using your shoulders.
Okay.
But because you're doing it with a rotation, you're actually using more of your shoulder muscle.
Okay.
Okay.
Developing strong surface muscles alone will not be enough. Triathletes need good core stability from the deeper muscles in the main body. So Joanne is going to show Aleksandra some Pilates exercises.
The first one we're going to do is the roll down, which is just going to work on abdominals, very deep abdominals as well as your sit-up muscles as well. We're going to do a leg pull, which again is going to work the real deep abdominal muscles, the pelvic floor, and the very deep abdominal muscles which come around the waist, kind of like the body's version of a corset really, but they're very, very deep. And that one's also going to work the lower spinal muscles as well. And then the third one we're going to do is the hip circle or the knee circle, which again works abdominals, lower back, but really works all the supporting muscles around the pelvis. So it's a really good one, which complements cycling and also in the latter stages of a run as well. If you see sort of runners kind of running along like this, it's kind of all those core muscles which are getting tired, and that should prevent any sort of injuries. Once you get those muscles strengthened, that should prevent any injuries sort of around the pelvic girdle. So first of all, finding those abdominal muscles. If you think of tightening a belt around your waist, so you're squeezing navel to spine. If you imagine tightening the belt right into that very last notch and holding there. Don't hold in so tight that you can't breathe. You need to still be able to take a breath as well. So I always think of notch 1 is your complete relaxation. Notch 10 is pulling in as hard as you can on the belt. So aim for about notch 5, sort of halfway position. So it's easy to pull all the way in and then just relax so that you can still breathe. And then pull up on the pelvic floor muscle as well. So you're pulling up from the base of the pelvis. And again, you've got to use your imagination there. If you think of pulling up on different levels, floor 10 is your top level, floor 1 would be the lowest level. So again, pulling all the way up and then just gradually come down to around about floor 10.
I can see my destiny.